God, I hope I get it. I hope I get it. How many people do they need?
Yes. Madeline,
Hi,
hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm so good. I'm so excited that we're doing this. And thank you for
Oh,
zooming in from Vermont.
of course, of course. I'm
Yes.
so happy to do it. I love your podcast. I love your writing. I love
Oh,
everything
thank
about
you.
you. There you have it. I'm a
And
fan.
vice versa. I so you told this piece, or you this was a storytelling show where you and I were both telling our stories, and I heard you share this essay. You read it and you blew me away. I'm not someone who laughs or cries very easily, not out loud, like
Right.
maybe internally I'll giggle or I'll well up, if something's really sad, but I no actual tears. I was cracking up laughing out
Oh,
loud.
oh, well,
Yeah.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. That's
And
that's my
it,
life. It's so
yes.
hilarious.
Well, it was a little bit of the piece and a lot of your delivery. So I have read it for this week's On My Nightstand for our podcast, and I really hope that I do it justice because I really wanted to bring through that humor, which you do so well.
Oh, thanks. Well,
So
I've
the
heard you
piece,
read, so I'm sure you did.
oh, thank you. The piece is called Number One Juror.
Mm-hmm.
And is that right?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
Okay. Because I want to say juror number one, but I know it's
Well,
number
or
one
because
juror.
I was juror number one, but I consider
Yes.
myself the number one juror ever.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah. So
if
tell
there
me,
were a ranking, which there should be, obviously.
you're number one.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think that I might be the only one in the running for that. So I get it by default, I think, because nobody else cares to
Be
achieve
number one
that status,
juror. Yes.
right?
Tell me about the piece. What inspires you?
Well, in general, I feel like the only one who wants to do jury duty, who likes to do jury duty, who thinks it's important to do jury duty. And truly and honestly, I cannot believe that everyone else doesn't feel this way. Like I don't believe it. There are so many things about jury duty that I find appealing, interesting, exciting. And all I hear from people is, I got to get out of jury duty. And
Right.
honestly, I can't, it's baffling to me. And I've noticed it in my life that I'm truly the only one who wants to do jury duty.
Oh
I
my
want
goodness.
to be
I'm
called for
crying
jury
again.
duty. It's a fact. I mean, it might be a reflection of my life outside of jury duty, you
Which
know,
is
which is maybe not as exciting as being on a jury. So that's the whole thing, is that
right.
I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe other people have a life they don't want to leave. But, I
Yes.
tend to like, it's a little escape from life. Also, and on a really more serious note, I feel like if all the people who we consider smart and, people whom we would want to be on our jury get out of it, it's
Right.
like, who's left, right? So I'm leading the charge of like, come on, let's make this something that people want to do.
I love that. I mean, it is our civic duty.
Right.
It is our civic duty. But in addition to that, if we can bring just a modicum of the enthusiasm to it that you do, I think it would go so much smoother for everyone.
Well, I think that I like stories, as I think you do. And I think that a courtroom is filled with stories. I feel like the whole jury was filled with stories, each one
Yes.
of those people. And
Yes.
so I just like this idea that we're all coming together, and we would never probably come together in any other way, in any other circumstance. And I
It's
sort of
true.
love that. I love that I'm going to meet people I might not ever meet.
Yeah.
We're going to get a chance to do something together that we would never get a chance to do, work together on something that feels really important and hear different viewpoints. I kind of think it's this gift that we get to do, and other people see it as a punishment. But I think it's really something special. And I think I'm the only one who thinks that. And maybe I can convince other people that they can see it
I would
differently.
guess that
But
if you
that
don't,
really wasn't
right.
my goal. But I just think that often I feel like in many life situations that I'm the only one who feels a certain way,
Mhm.
whether it's good or bad about that situation.
Exactly. Well, and yes, hence the the origin of the podcast.
Yes,
The
exactly.
podcast wasn't just born out of the fact that I had an only one experience of being the only Black woman in that 600-person retreat. The podcast was born because the responses I got were across the board from people of all races and, ethnicities and countries and ages who knew what that felt like to be the only one. We're like, those are the stories we want to tell.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that's a great only one,
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think that if more people, I think what's great about your podcast is when everybody feels like the only one, and then you hear from other people who are like, no, I feel that way too. And obviously that brings people together. And jury duty is hardly the thing that, we need to bond over, but it is a reflection of how I often feel about things, that I am often looking around the room going, how come I'm the only one who feels this way? Whether it's out of place, whether I don't like the situation or do like it,
Yes.
And so I feel like most of my writing is about feeling like I'm the only one who feels that way, and kind of seeing how ridiculous it is.
Well, I love it. I'm so grateful that you lent it to us. And I want to just sign us off with that one line from a chorus line that you have. And could you just sing those words for us?
Well, they should have given me a chance to do it in court. So now it's my big chance. God, I hope I get it. I hope I get it. How many people do they need?
Yes.
Maybe they can do a musical called Jury Duty, and they can borrow the lyrics, or just an ad for Jury Duty. I think, we got to take this Jury Duty show on the road.
I love that idea. We'll do an East Coast, West Coast version.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
great.
so much.
And
thank you.
I hope that people who are watching and listening enjoy my rendition of it. And if you don't, let me know, and I'll have Madeline come on and read it herself.
I am sure they will. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be read by you.
Oh, thank you, Madeline.
Right.
Have a great rest of your day, okay?
Yeah.
Number One Juror by Madeline Greer. Most people feel like what they have going on in their lives is too important to take time out to do jury duty. Not me. I have never had a job or personal life that has seemed so interesting or vital that being part of a real crime and punishment story would pale in comparison. Which is why I was thrilled, elated even, when I was summoned for the first time to fulfill my civic duty and report to downtown Superior Court in Manhattan. I arrived to a jury assembly room filled with the sound of exasperated exhaling and uncomfortable fidgeting from those who clearly thought that they were too good to be there. Meanwhile, I was reveling in the welcome change of scenery from my regular routine, the pageantry of humankind from all walks of life, the lack of cubicles and marketing speak, the opportunity to matter. Is there any reason you couldn't follow the letter of the law? Is there any reason you couldn't be here on the dates indicated for the trial? No and no. I'm here, I'm available, I'm a blank slate, I'm reasonable, I'm not compromised. Lay your case on me, I'm here for you. God, I hope I get it, I hope I get it, I sang to myself in my head. How many people do they need? 9, and 2 alternates. I kept making it to the next round until it was final. I was on the jury. I made it. Better yet, because of where I happened to be sitting, I was deemed juror number 1, numero uno. I thought it was just a number, but in fact, it meant that special responsibilities had been bestowed upon me.